What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's Stimulate here, back with another Legends of Runeterra video for you all. So we're going to be checking out the Swain reveal today. Little late, but trying to get caught up on some stuff, so let's just go ahead and jump right into the reveal and check out what we're working with these new Noxus cards.
By my hand will Noxus rise.
So yeah, obviously we got Swain. Here, let's go ahead and pause real quick. 5 mana 3/6. Really good stat line. I mean, not like crazy impactful for damage potential, obviously, but high health is really good. Thresh is really good, obviously. Sees a lot of play, so the stat line is not an issue. Deal 3 to the enemy Nexus on Nexus Strike. I mean, that's pretty good. So I mean, like, if he does get damage through the Nexus, his attack is bumped up by an additional 3 essentially. So might is really good. Potentially get that overwhelm, or like Kato if you somehow get a Kato out or something. It's a very strong effect. And then the level up condition, when we've done 12 non-combat damage this game, that's pretty easy with the new cards like Ember Maiden and stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of different spell potential too. I mean, it's definitely not as hard as something like Maokai or like any of the other harder to level up champs that already exist. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and move forward and see what we're working with here.
Show them their place.
Okay. So we got new cards in the hand.
Their walls cannot protect them. I will break them.
Yeah, seems good.
My favorite
Okay.
kind of soldier.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard of this card. So yeah, this is a busted card. Super good. 2 mana, 2/3, already such a good stat line, and then the effect is, they already have the Aristocrat in play. They had it in hand before. That makes sense now, because yeah, this is essentially like on turn 4. I mean, it's just a 4 mana. You can think of this like a 4 mana 4/5, deal 4 to the enemy Nexus, which is like, I mean, it's spread across 2 cards, so obviously harder to do than that, but I mean, that's an insanely strong 4 mana play for many different archetypes. So, and then this, I mean, this levels up Swain by 5, so, I mean, yeah, that's pretty strong. That's very, very strong. Oh yeah, there's a level up. Okay. Oh, okay, Swain, damn, dude. Alright, chill, buddy. We're gonna need that map at some point. Alright. When we deal non-combat damage to the enemy Nexus, stun the strongest background enemy. I mean, that's super strong. Yeah, I mean, if you somehow have this leveled up with an Ember Maiden or something, how does that work? I wonder. I mean, it's not single ping, so it happens all at once, so I'm assuming it just stuns 1. Jeez, Nexus Strike deal 3 to all enemies. That's insane. That's so insane. Like, man, this like clears the board, most likely. Like, if you get this hit off on Nexus. That's so crazy. This with like an Ember Maiden to stun something, stun the strongest, then you attack in, maybe hit with like a Might. I mean, yeah, this is such, I feel like this is very overloaded. I mean, like, I'm sure it's very hard to get all of this perfect stuff happening, but I mean, it's definitely like a lot more going on than a lot of the champion effects we've had in the past. Obvious synergy with like Freljord Noxus. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's so much going on between the two right now. Sejuani is like super. Their early games are so similar. Like, there's an archetype that exists, obviously, where they're gonna be played together.
Victory awaits.
Oh, there's another new card, big boy, and another card here. Oh, and a card here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is like, I mean, this didn't even matter. He was already dead. So. Pretty sick though, pretty sick. Okay. Alright, we can go ahead and check out what else we're working with here. Okay. Alright, let's take a look at the new things. City Breaker. 4 mana 0/5. That's pretty irrelevant. Round start, deal 1 to the enemy Nexus. Oh god. Yeah, I feel like the only way this card would be good if it was just like yeeting out all the other bad Noxus cards. Like if you were just able to throw blood for blood at the enemy's face. Like I don't think this card's gonna be that good. Yeah, this is pretty irrelevant. I mean, it's so slow. Deal 1 to the enemy Nexus on round 5. And then you have a 0/5, which is putting on virtually no board pressure. So I just can't foresee this like seeing much play. It's just very underwhelming. Unless there's like eventually some sort of other synergy with like out of combat effects that you want to like get some sort of value when you're like, I don't know, if there's some sort of archetype that it's like you for some reason want as much out of combat damage as possible, then this might see a way to sneak in. But even then, it's like they would have to, I don't know what effect would possibly cause you to want to play something like this is pretty much what it comes down to. And they've got the Leviathan. Okay, this is that big overwhelm thing that was next to Swain. Oh, draw Swain. Wow. Okay. So I mean, this is obviously going to be played with Swain. I mean, I don't see this card seeing much play outside of Swain because you lose a ton of the value immediately from the card just by not playing Swain. So if this card is played with Swain, I say if because it's really high cost, and then on turn like 9, essentially, you would get the other effect, and you unless you had a Swain in play somehow, you I mean, you wouldn't even get that nutty of an effect. I mean, ping 3 times is really good, but 5 attack overwhelm this late in the game, unless something obscene is going on, I don't think this is going to be doing a ton of damage or like having a ton of board presence potentially. I mean, 8 health is really high, so it'd probably stick around for a little bit. So it might get some value, but I don't know if it's going to be like insane. It's probably like, I mean, with Swain, it's good because you draw a Swain for free. It's free tutor, which we don't really have many tutor cards. We have like Draven's Biggest Fan, and that's like it. So, and I mean, I don't think this is going to be nearly as funny as Draven's Biggest Fan asking for autographs and shit. So, like, yeah, what kind of interactions is Swain going to have with this? It's going to be a big old explosion, maybe? Who knows? Talk about this. This is, I mean, there's nothing much else to say about this card. It's going to be huge. It's going to be very impactful in the metagame. It'll find spots in all sorts of archetypes, I'm sure, because, I mean, 2 mana 2/3 already is super premium stat like I said, and then dealing 1 to an ally, there's a ton. It can be interacted with too, so it's not like busted where it's like just like a summon effect or something. So it goes on the stack, so I mean, like, there can be interaction. But yeah, there's tons of different cards that can take advantage of the deal 1, the 1 self damage for like a potential positive effect, and then you get 2 free Nexus damage on top of that. Like, I mean, there's synergy with like potentially like Noxus. There may be like a Noxus Shadow Isles face deck where like you play with Cursed Keeper and do this instead. Somehow, I mean, that's like, I guess that's kind of a stretch because they're both 2 mana plays, and but I mean, there might be something there. Who knows? Who knows what people will come up with? And then let's start here with Ravenous Lock. This is probably Swain's signature card, so yeah, okay, yeah. People have been saying this is like kind of power crept guillotine, Noxian guillotine, which makes a lot of sense, especially with other synergy cards that are coming out, like Ember Maiden. And if there's like similar like self damage effects or anything like that, like I mean, this is super good. This is, I mean, like, yeah, Ember Maiden on 3 with this on 1, like the next turn, like, if they don't remove it, is like you can get rid of some sort of chunky boy. I mean, Yeah, this is a super. I mean, it's not. It's like situational. I think you could play like a heavy stun package, so this like helps with maybe some sort of like Noxus control archetype. Maybe they'll emerge something like that. If yeah, I don't know if this is essentially gonna like push. I mean, it's another tool for it. I don't know if it's gonna like push it over the edge or anything. But yeah, dealing 4 to a unit if it's damaged or stunned is really good. And if you design a deck that like tries to take advantage of this, then it's super cheap, and it does a lot. I mean, it does a ton for the cost. So I think this is a very above average card. And then Noxian Fervor. I mean, this is half of Swain's level up, so it's like guaranteed going to be played in Swain. And it's a really strong burn tool. 3 mana didn't like you can read this kind of like deny what your opponent is trying to do to deal 3 to anything. So like treating like glimpse, I guess, where you know your opponent is you're waiting for your opponent to try to remove something potentially. It's like doing damage or like you're interacting with it for whatever reason. And instead of drawing 2, you're dealing 3 to anything. So in like a very heavy like, so with Swain it's good because obviously it's half his level up, like I said, and then in like a burn archetype, it could deny healing from like Grasp or Vile Feast, and then deal 3 to face. So I mean, like this has potential to be a very strong burn card, and I think it most likely will be played in like some burn archetypes if it's going to be played with Noxus, and then obviously it'll be played in Swain. So, I mean, it's more expensive than Glimpse. I mean, dealing 3 to an ally unit is killing most of your early game stuff anyway, so it's pretty similar to Glimpse. Just one more cost and deals damage. I mean, dealing damage obviously has the potential to win the game, so I mean, like it's a trade-off. So, yeah, it's a good card for sure. We'll see what people do with it and how it goes. I mean, Swain obviously, Burn obviously, and then maybe there's some other kind of synergy stuff that we can work with there. And then onto the big boy, our big bird boy here. We talked about this initially. Good stat line, Thresh-esque stat line. I mean, obviously, this guy is going to be played with like Sejuani. There's like a Sejuani archetype here for sure because their early games are virtually identical. They're trying to do the out of combat damage, and he's 5, Sejuani's 6. So I mean, like they curve out pretty well together. Yeah, and I mean, that's another thing against Leviathan, I guess, is like, I mean, are you gonna really want to play Leviathan in a big boy Noxus Freljord Sejuani Swain deck? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, both Sejuani and Swain are just like, they're such insane mid to late game bombs. Especially this with Might, and then yeah, Sejuani. If you have some sort of spell interaction with Sejuani, Frostbite everything. So insane. Like if you somehow had a board with both of those on the board, I don't see how you come back from that. And if the Noxus Freljord early game with like the Ember Maiden stuff is like able to control enough of the early game board, then I mean, it's gonna be I think about hot for teacher. It's gonna be hard to handle for sure. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't think Swain is gonna be underwhelming by any means. It's gonna the level up animation is so sick. I mean, he's burning up that map. He doesn't give a shit anymore. He's like, let's just do it. Let's just do it up, baby. So, yeah. I think he'll be played. It's like that they've got this cool like attrition war theme going on with all this different like siege engine stuff, and Swain being like the tactician, and I mean, yeah, we got some pretty strong cards in this specific leak, or the specific reveal. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely potential here. I'm sure Swain will find a home in other archetypes, like maybe some sort of burn. I mean, like, yeah, he could be like some sort of like burn bomb type thing. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, it's like impossible to say without knowing more of the cards. So we just have to wait and see, and I'll do like a, an official like rating. I think once we have more information about the cards. I mean, we can pretty much safely say this is a 5-star card. Instantly, we can pretty safely say this is like a 1 to 2-star card. Everything else is kind of up in the air. I mean, I think you can safely say this is like a 3-star card as well. And then the Swain stuff is like definitely more up in the air with what we got going on. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I don't think this is anything anyone hasn't heard before. I just kind of want to put my 2 cents in, see if get some interaction, conversation going about what we think we can do with these cards. But if you like the video, please don't be afraid to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, have a good rest of your day. I hope to see you around.